Hello, welcome to Paul's Take on Mazda MX-30. Mazda's coming out with their own electric vehicle. Yay! Just about everybody is now. I mean, they should. Everybody's going electric. You might as well come out with one. But what's interesting about Mazda was they went about it a little different. Most places are like trying to improve range on their battery, and it's kind of like a big selling point, how much range you get. I guess that's important to some people, and it should be important. And I thought it was important to me, but then I started thinking about it, and I started listening to their logic, and it kind of makes sense that range shouldn't be the biggest thing when it comes to electric vehicles, especially when it comes to personal vehicles, because most people will take their car to work and then home, or go to school, or do a couple errands, and then they come home, they park their vehicle, and then they can charge it up. So technically, if you can get by through a whole day without any problems, you should be fine. You don't really need a bigger battery just for the sake of having a bigger battery, because basically, and I don't think that for most people, for myself, I drive to work, which is 25 miles, come home, so it's round trips to 50 miles. I go to the gym, add a couple more miles. Might go to the store, add a couple more miles. But really, if I can get a reliable 100 miles a day with no problem and have a little bit to spare, I think that would actually serve the purpose of an electric vehicle for me. So Mazda's, their range is 124 miles. That's not very much, but if they can get if they can get that reliably, regardless of the weather or load or whatever, or how I drive, if you get at least 100, that should be good. Because really, when you think about it, even now they get charge stations at your workplace. If you charge it at work, in case you happen to go a little further or something, you can do that. You could charge it at the grocery stores now. Get the front seat parking, charge your vehicle up while you're shopping. And the advantages of it is, for one, the lithium-ion batteries. As light as they are, because you have a lithium-ion battery in your phone right now, they're light. They're very light, but to power a car, you need a lot of them. That adds a lot of weight. So that adds to a heavier car. And if you're a car enthusiast like myself, you want your car to be as light as possible and have a lot of power. So with the smaller battery, which is actually even smaller than a Nissan Leaf's battery, and has less range. It's a pretty light car, well, compared to other vehicles. Compared to other electric vehicles, that is. But it doesn't actually beat the King yet. But I like their logic. So their battery is small. It's supposed to, Mazda, if you've ever driven a Mazda, they're kind of like the fun car. So it probably handles well and whatnot. So it's going to be probably a nice car to drive. But doesn't beat the King. The King is Tesla. Tesla is still the king. And it does seem like Tesla are using some kind of alien technology, because they still got the best performance vehicles. Now, Tesla was not the first electric vehicle. Nissan Leaf's been out for a long time. Let's find out how long. I'm curious. The Nissan Leaf came out in 2010, whereas the Tesla the Tesla Model S came out in 2012. So that's 2 years later. Now, of course, they came out with the Roadster earlier, but I didn't even look at that because it was not practical for the average person to buy one. And even the Tesla S, when it first came out, was pretty pricey. So it was still not attainable to your average Joe like myself. But anyhow, okay, so Nissan Leaf came out earlier, Tesla came out later, and they kicked their butt royally. Why? It's quite simple. Teslas are cool. If you hear me with the cup, they're cool. You wanted to drive a Tesla S or any Tesla. They're sexy cars. They're a status symbol. But the Nissan Leaf was not. It was not neither. It was just saying you are a green yuppie nerd. That's all it says. Just like the the Toyota Prisms. Look at hybrids. I think they have full electric, right? I don't know. But nobody wants one of those. Because they're, again, you got to be a green, yuppie, tree-hugging nerd to drive one. You know, it doesn't say the right things. It doesn't say I'm cool. It just says I care about the environment. And it's just very important to some people. But most people, at least car enthusiasts, they're enthusiastic about cars. And, you know, if it helps the environment, then great. That's even better. But they don't want to be driving around in a nerdy car, which I agree. I don't want to drive around in a nerdy car either. Now, the Mazda MX-30 is not a bad-looking vehicle. It's coming out in 2020. I guess it might not even come to the United States till later, because apparently the European countries are they're getting really strict on on vehicles and vehicle emissions. So a lot of these car companies are putting their electric vehicles to Europe and not to the United States because we're a bunch of cowboys. And we don't care about the environment as much, apparently. Well, some of us do, some don't. So a lot of these manufacturers are sending their electric vehicles over there. I guess they're having better infrastructure for them, and they're getting that way. And we're lagging behind again, just like we are in bullet trains. Where's our bullet trains? Everybody else got one. I was surprised. I was just totally off the subject, but I was surprised at how many countries have bullet trains right now, and we don't. It's sad. They said that technically we have one, and but it can only go like 130 miles an hour, 150, for only like a 24-mile stretch, and that's it. And the rest, and the whole average speed of the vehicle, of the train, was like 60 miles an hour. Not a bullet train. So anyhow, we're falling behind too. Dubai's gonna have flying cars. That's right, you heard me. Dubai is coming out with flying drone taxis. We are not gonna get that for probably, I'm guessing, if they get flying drone taxis, let's say 2025, let's just say that. And they're supposed to be coming out, it's supposed to already be out, to be honest with you, but I guess they're still doing some testing to make sure it's safe. But if they do it, if they did it today, let's just say, if they did it today at 2020, we're not going to get one till 2060. You heard me. The only place where I can see maybe, probably in a small pocket, like maybe Las Vegas might have it, but nowhere else. You're not going to see any flying cars anywhere near you soon. Sorry to say it. Too many regulations. And also, I guess, even Las Vegas, they're right next to an airport, so that's going to probably be difficult. But anyways, if it could be anywhere, I could see maybe Vegas, but that's about it. Maybe Disneyland. That's just for the fun. Anyhow, back to the vehicles. Mazda MX-30, I think they got it pretty right because it's a nice looking vehicle. It's not ugly at all. It actually looks kind of cool looking. Yeah, if you like Mazdas, and it's like a normal, it's not a status symbol like the Tesla is. And the price is not super cheap either. I mean, it's not bad. It's $38,000 the starting price. Considering you might get a tax credit of like $8,500, brings it to $30,000. Plus you're saving all that money in gas. So it really is doable. It's not out of out of anybody's range. The Tesla 3 starting price is $35,000. And if you get that, so there's still a bargain. There's still a better deal. And they have a more powerful motor. The range is better. They're lighter. So as of right now, on paper, the Tesla 3 still wins. Like I said, Tesla seems to be using some kind of alien technology that nobody else can get a hold of because it's a lighter vehicle, more range, more power, and cheaper. And really, on the exterior wise, I'm going to say it's a toss-up. Now, the Mazda MX-30 is a SUV, where the Tesla is a sedan, a small sedan. And so it's not exactly apples to apples, but they're both about the same price range. And so that's why I chose them to go together. The Nissan Leaf is even cheaper at $29,000. But here's the thing about the Nissan Leaf, which I don't really want to compare it to, because the Nissan Leaf is one of those ugly cars. It's like one of those completely no status. It's just saying, I am a tree-hugging yuppie. That's all it says. I'm hippie. That's it. It doesn't say cool by any means. Now, if they were cool looking, it would be more of a direct comparison, but they're not cool. Not at all. So Tesla 3 is still, they're pretty cool. Not super cool. Not like the Tesla Model S, but it's pretty cool. But the one thing that Mazda does have that Tesla wishes it had is interior. The Tesla interior Model 3 especially sucks. It's really plain, it's ugly, it's boring. Just like the Cybertruck interiors, just blah. But the exterior looks good, and all the mechanicals sound better. So, which one would I buy? Between the Mazda MX-30 and the Tesla 3? I don't know. Good question. It's a good, because I gotta admit, I do like the Tesla exterior, but I don't like the interior. That would bother me. And basically, the prices are pretty similar. And I don't know. That's a toss-up. I gotta admit it. I'm probably leaning a little bit towards the Mazda because I do like to be inside of a nicer interior. And I think the Tesla 3, the Model 3, it's like, you know, it's just, if there's something about a car that you don't like, it kind of eats you up after a while. At first you're like, well, I can deal with it. I'm driving a Tesla, I can deal with it. But if there's something, it could be anything about a car. It could be, you don't like the radio. You don't like the way the windows roll up or down. Or you don't like the way it steers or something. Feels kind of funny. Those little things is what eats you up after time when you want to trade it in for another car. Tesla 3, Model 3, I think the interior would eat me up after a while. So I guess probably I'd go with the Mazda. And Mazdas are great cars. I mean, dude, all their cars are great. They're super reliable. They're for some reason, I'm not really gelling with the style. Like I do like the Miata. I like the old RX-7s. The one in the first Fast and Furious. Was the first? I don't know. But it was a third generation. Third generation RX-7 is the best. All right. Well, that's what I think. So does Mazda get it right? Do we need all that battery? It's cheaper to produce. It's cheaper to replace the battery. Probably faster to recharge the battery. And unless you're doing some serious traveling, which you probably wouldn't, you shouldn't even have an electric vehicle, 100% electric vehicle, if you do a lot of traveling anyways. Get a hybrid. And that's what their logic was too. If you need more range, get a hybrid model. And if you don't need the range as a daily driver, have the all electric. Because here's the thing about combustion motors. If you say you had a hybrid, right? And you want to use electric as much as you can, right? It's like a plug-in hybrid. Well, electric or gasoline motors are not good just to be sitting around. You got to use them, or else they get all gummed up and stuff. So it's like if you're going to use them on a regular basis, or if they have like an integration where you're using both all the time anyway, so you're going to get some use out of it. But here's my other prediction. I think electric vehicles will last a lot longer than a gasoline-powered vehicle because they don't have all those cylinders going up and down. It's rotation. It's only like an axle. It's nothing. It's like hardly any moving parts. I'm going to look that up. Hold on. Okay, my assumptions were correct. So based on Elon Musk, he's saying that the batteries themselves will last about 300 to 500,000 miles. That's what he's saying, properly maintained battery. I'm not talking about the battery. I'm talking about the motor itself. The motor, the little spins around. Well, apparently there's only two moving parts in the motor, and that's just the bearings. So he's saying they should last easily 1,000,000 miles, which is what I thought, and then you probably just change the bearings and you're good to go because there's no friction in the motor, it just spins. Not to say that everything else won't fall apart for it, but if it's well built, you don't drive the crap out of it, you don't need to maintain it really. I mean, you don't need oil changes or anything. So the maintenance is less, and that's a big, to me, selling point, is that it should last forever, really. You see like a power surge and wipes out all electricity. Which is, I guess, a possibility as well. But anyways, that's my take on the Mazda MX-3. I think they got a good point. Thanks for watching, Paul Spix. Or, it's my old name. I forgot I changed it. Paul's take on Mazda MX-30.